For me personally, the best feeling thing to do in kite surfing is riding backside unhooked. You know, it's the way I can most open up my whole body and really make it feel like surfing. So I'm just going to explain how to do a basic backside top turn unhooked. So I'm coming in here and I am, my kite's in a position that it would be if I was just normally tacking upwind. I'm just riding out the swell, feeling it out, seeing where it's going to break, and taking the time to get my speed right and my kite in the right position to make my turn. It's really important that you stay hooked in until the very last minute. I never ever unhook until I have full control. The worst thing you can do is unhook too early and then, wreck the whole wave. So I've come right to the bottom of this wave. You can see my kite is at about 45 degrees. All I'm going to do with my kite at this point, and this is why sideshore conditions are so easy to ride compared to everything else, is because you don't really need to turn your kite at all. All you need to do is just get it in the perfect position and then do subtle adjustments. And what I mean by subtle adjustments is moving it slightly up and slightly down as you run along the wave and do turns. So you can see here, just before I unhook, I'm bringing my kite up just a little bit higher than what it was when I initially came into the wave. Then, when I'm just about to start my bottom turn, that's where I'm going to unhook. When I unhook, I'm going to be going from sheeting the kite out to full power. So I'm going to get a little burst of energy from the kite. So I've pulled my chicken loop out of my harness, I've unhooked, and now I'm lowering my center of gravity to basically get as much drive as possible out of my bottom turn. You really want to lean over your heel side rail as much as possible and, hold that stance of like you're sitting down. Throughout the pinnacle of the bottom turn, your butt's almost going to touch the water. What this is doing is it's giving you forward momentum and drive, and that's what you really need to go back up the face and hook into the pocket. At this point, my kite's not doing anything but moving down the line. So you want to try and hold that heel side rail for as long as possible. Basically, until you get about 3/4 of the way up the face of the wave. That's when you're going to, thrust all your weight from leaning over your heel side to now leaning over your toe side. I often put my arm in the water. It gives me a point of reference, to really lean over, and for some reason makes me feel like, like I can balance a turn a little bit more. The key with a good top turn is, making sure that you do it right in the pocket and holding it as much as possible. You'll see here my kite is still, floating down the line in that same position. The only thing I would do is if it was getting too low or too high would just be subtly adjust that. Like I've mentioned before with unhooking, it's all in your head. The power of the kite is never going to rip the bar out of your hands unless the kite's going at a different speed to you. So ultimately, the key with any unhooked riding, especially, backside top turn like this, is make sure when you set yourself up and you set your kite position up that you are going at exactly the same speed as your kite. Then it's always going to work out.